Building a serious back at home comes down to one annoying problem. With a free barbell, your lower back usually taps out long before your lats do. Row machines fix that by parking your chest against a pad and letting your back muscles be the only thing that fails. These 7 cover everything from a unit that fits in a spare bedroom corner to a plate-loaded beast that belongs in a commercial facility. All the links are down in the description. Let's dive in. Kicking things off with the Mikolo S7, which is the one I keep coming back to as the best all-rounder of the group. It runs on dual linear guide rods with recirculating bearings, and that combination is what makes the whole thing feel expensive. There's no lateral sway, no arc, no plates swinging out to the side while you fight to keep them straight. You pull, the carriage glides, your back does 100% of the work. The antler-style handle gives you 4 grip positions: wide, neutral, close, and reverse, so a single machine covers half your pulling day. Total capacity sits at 440 pounds, 220 per side, and the chest pad adjusts through 4 angles to match your torso. It is marketed for Romanian deadlifts as well, and you can absolutely do them, though the shock springs at the base of the rods shorten the stretch a touch. Treat that as a bonus rather than the reason you buy it. Shorter lifters around 5'2" often add a small riser under the footplate, and the pull angle improves dramatically the second they do. The Titan Fitness chest-supported row is what happens when a company stops caring about your floor space and starts caring about how much weight you can move. 11-gauge steel frame, 500-pound plate capacity, and an extra-long lever arm mounted on a side-to-side universal joint. That joint is the detail worth understanding because instead of locking your shoulders into one rigid track, it lets the load drift naturally as you pull, so the machine adapts to your body rather than the other way around. Grips rotate a full 360 degrees and adjust from 12 to 26 inches wide. This is the machine for the Saturday morning where you've already finished heavy squats, your legs are toast, and you still want 300 pounds moving through your upper back without a single rep of hip swing. You load standard Olympic plates, wedge yourself into the pad, and pull until your grip quits. That is exactly the session this thing was built for. It does need roughly 86 inches of depth, so it is for the person with a dedicated space rather than a corner, and the plate horns sit off to the side, meaning you step off the footplate to change weight. Slower between sets, but it also gives you a natural breather. Now flip everything about that last machine and you land on the Mikolo SR06. Same linear bearing technology as the S7, same 440-pound capacity, packed into a footprint of under 6 square feet, smaller than a standard utility bench. The fixed vertical track means you never balance the load, which makes it phenomenal for anyone still learning what a proper row feels like. Cheat reps become impossible, because there's no way to swing your hips and heave the bar up. Compared head-to-head with the S7, the difference shows up in where you feel it. The S7 drives contraction deeper into the lats, while the SR06 can pull more of your arms into the movement depending on torso length and reach. For a first machine in an apartment, that trade is completely fair. Think about a third-floor flat with a spare bedroom that already holds a bench and a rack. There's no room left for anything that swings, arcs, or needs a clearance zone around it. The SR06 tucks against the wall, takes standard plates, and lets you train to genuine failure at 10 at night without a single plate clanging into the floor. That is a very specific problem, and this solves it neatly. And what if you want 2 machines for the price of 1 footprint? That's where the Lions Cool 2-in-1 earns its spot. It is a 45-degree leg press and a linear row sharing a single steel frame rated to 700 pounds with adjustable safety stops and an oversized footplate. Here's the number nobody mentions in the listings. On a 45-degree sled, the resistance you actually feel is around 7/10 of what's loaded on the horns, so 700 pounds of plates lands closer to 490 in your hands and under your feet. Your Instagram caption gets to say the bigger number, which is arguably worth the purchase on its own. Switching between press mode and row mode takes a manual reconfiguration of the pads, so this is a machine for planned training days rather than frantic supersets. Lifters right around 5'4" report just fitting the lowest settings, and anyone past 6'1" gives up a little range at the extremes. For a garage that has to hold an entire gym, cutting your square footage in half without dropping capacity is a spectacular trade. The Mikolo A-SR00 takes a completely different approach to the pulling path. Instead of a straight track, it uses independent diverging arms, so your hands start close together at full stretch and travel outward as you contract. That arc follows the way your lats actually wrap around your rib cage, and the difference in how the top of the rep feels is immediate. Independent arms also mean your stronger side can't quietly do extra work, which is the entire point if one arm has been carrying you for years. Capacity is 400 pounds, the seat and chest pad are inclined and adjustable, and you get 2 handle options, fixed grips for precision, and 360-degree rotating grips that let your wrists track naturally through high-rep sets. Sleeve adapters for both 1-inch and 2-inch plates come in the box, which quietly saves you a separate purchase. Say your right side has been dominant since forever, and every barbell row you've ever done let it hide. On this machine, you load each arm separately, and the weaker side either finishes the set on its own or it doesn't. 3 months of that changes how your back looks from behind. At almost 64 inches deep, it does ask for a dedicated spot on the floor, so measure before you order. The Valor Fitness CB14 is the budget pick that punches embarrassingly far above its tier. Where the A-SR00 diverges, this one converges, arms starting wide and drawing together as you pull toward your ribs. 4 ball-bearing assemblies handle the pivots, and that is genuinely rare at this price, since most machines here lean on bronze bushings that need lubrication and can stick under load. Bearings keep resistance identical through the whole rep up and down. The seat moves through 4 heights, the chest pad through 5, and total capacity is 400 pounds at 200 per arm on a 2x2 12-gauge frame. 2 things to know before you commit. The hardware kit is basic, so a rubber mallet and a little patience make assembly far smoother, and the sleeves are natively 1-inch with plastic adapters included. Swapping those adapters for metal ones is a cheap upgrade that solves the only real weak point. Lifters up to 6'3" find the wide grips accommodate their span comfortably. Finishing with the Mikolo Seal Row Bench, and this one is brutal in the best possible way. You lie face down on an elevated pad and pull a bar straight up, which means momentum is completely off the table. No hips, no legs, no body English, just your upper back against gravity. Structural capacity is 1,500 pounds, so the bench will outlive every strength goal you ever set. It also converts for back extensions and reverse hypers, giving you 3 stations in one frame. The honest catch is that a straight Olympic bar hits the underside of the bench before you finish the rep, so a cambered seal row bar is essentially required. Budget for it up front. Expect to use noticeably less weight than you would standing, which stings for about 1 session and then becomes the reason your upper back finally grows. It is the machine most often recommended for anyone whose lower back is already cooked from deadlift day. Pulling it all together. If you want one machine that does nearly everything well, the Mikolo S7 is the pick. Tight on space or new to rowing, the SR06 delivers the same smooth track in under 6 square feet. Chasing heavy commercial grade loads with room to house them, the Titan is your machine. Need a leg press and a row sharing 1 slab of floor? The Lion's Cool combo is the space hack. For fixing side-to-side imbalances with natural joint tracking, go with the A-SR00, and for the best pulling mechanics on a budget, the Valor CB14 is a steal. Want total isolation with 0 momentum? The Mikolo Seal Row Bench stands alone. All the links are down in the description if you want to compare them yourself. Tell me in the comments which one is going in your gym.